Right now, we bring in the Scotsman to help us sort out this England squad. We've got 33 players in there for Gareth Southgate. He's got to get it down to 26-year-old pal. So let's try and help him out, shall we? 7 have got to be left out of this England squad. It's going to be heartbreaking, isn't it? We don't want anyone to be kicked out of there because they've all had really good seasons and that's why they're in there. And there are a few who've missed out through injury, Nick Pope, and, didn't get in there. The likes of Danny Ings and Patrick Bamford who've had brilliant seasons as well. So here's the 7 that I've got to go out of the squad. And then let's see. Well, let's do it a couple at a time. I think one, you don't need 4 goalkeepers, right? We don't need 4 goalkeepers. No. I'm even sceptical that you need 3.
We're picking the same goalie here, aren't we? Or are we?
Yeah, Ramsdale's gone, hasn't he?
Yeah, listen. Yeah. You can't say he's had a great season, but he's played every single game for Sheffield United. I think I'm right in saying that. So in terms of his no injury problems, being a constant for them, but you've got to take Henderson, Johnson, and Pickford. I'm disappointed Pope was injured because I think if Pope's fit, I think he's genuinely pushing Jordan Pickford for start. But I'll go with you, and for sure, Ramsdale for me, unfortunately, just won't be there.
Yeah. Okay, look, so let's move into the defenders. I think you've got to lose a couple of those. I think, Ben Godfrey and Ben White have had brilliant seasons and fair play to them for getting in there. And hopefully they will have a future in an England shirt. I just think you've got Kyle Walker who could play centre-back as well. You've obviously got Connor Cody in there, Harry Maguire if he's fit. Do you need that many centre-backs for a Euros? So I'm going to say if we've got to lose 7, you've got to be ruthless. I think you've got to lose, as much as it pains to say, because I would have had him in my team in the season, and we did in that one club per player season. Player team. I think you've got to lose Ben White. So Ben White's gone for me, and potentially Ben Godfrey as well. What do you think?
Well, the first thing I said about Ben White, he's never represented England at any level. Not at any level, but you've got to say, and this was his first full season in the Premiership as well, so he's come leaps and bounds. I mean, I heard someone talking the other day about Lewis Dunk, how well of a season he's had at Brighton. But I'm going to go with you and say Ben White I don't think makes it. I think Godfrey's done okay, but I don't think he's worthy of an England place. Not yet. Genuinely not yet. I think the finish that Everton have had hasn't been good enough, buddy, so I can't have him. I hit the buffers a little bit now, and the next one we're taking, because I'm still having to get rid of one of the fullbacks.
Yeah.
And you're probably right that, in fact, I think it was Gareth that said that Trippier can play left back and right back. Trent can play right centre back, right back, and right midfield. And in my head, as soon as he said it, I thought, he's going to get rid of Reece James. That's what I thought. Well, I don't know about you.
Well, we said this, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago, and I thought that was the one that he would drop if Trent was going to get in there. And I know you love Reece James. Look, he hasn't played every single game for Chelsea because Azpilicueta's been playing, so he's not a cert for his club. He's definitely got an England future ahead of him, that is for sure. But if you've got Walker who can play right back, you've got Trippier who's just won La Liga with Atleti and Southgate loves. And then obviously you've got just place for one more really, and that as a right back, and Trent gives you that option when you play a 3 centre back. You can play him as a wing back. I think he's already made that decision, and James is going to be the one to drop out.
I think you and I spoke about this. I think probably even about 2.5 months ago. And Reece James is rapid, by the way, which I like. Yeah. I like pace at the back, just in case we get hit on the break or something like that. But you and I spoke about this, and Trent was going through a hard time. You cannot oversee the finish Trent Alexander-Arnold had to the season, the finish that Liverpool had to the season, and between the two of them, to be honest, as much as we're debating it, in my head I'm like, you can't not take Trent. You can't not take him, because he's finished the season, he's brilliant, he's injury-free, and his confidence is sky high. And they showed the goal the other day there, where he didn't even look to take the defender on, he just turned his foot round about it, right to the back post, and Manny headed it in, and I thought, I mean, you can see Harry Kane rising at the back post to them all day long. Yeah. And if it helps you at all, why I'm not having Reece James or White or Godfrey in, Reece James's delivery is nowhere near as good as Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's why I think Trent will make it.
Okay, look, we're agreeing. This isn't much fun, is it? We're agreeing on the 4. So we've got rid of Ramsdale, we've got rid of Godfrey, we've got rid of White, we've got rid of Reece James. We've got to get rid of 3 more. Let's rattle through it. If it's going to be in midfield, okay, I'll tell you what, he's not getting rid of Mason Mount. He's not getting rid of Declan Rice. He's not getting rid of Jordan Henderson if he's fit. Bellingham, I think, stays as well. I think Bellingham stays. Calvin Phillips, if his shoulder's okay, he's in there as well. So is Lingard. So that, for me, leaves 1 midfielder to get rid of. And unfortunately, James Ward-Prowse, it's you.
Free kick, dead balls.
We've got people who can do that, haven't we?
Who else are we saying then? So, Mount's good at that.
Hey, Harry Kane's good at that, isn't he?
Harry Kane, Kieran Trippier is good at ball in. Trent Alexander's good at ball in. I like James Ward-Prowse. I'd really like him. The only thing is that I know a couple of lads in Germany, well, obviously a few people, and Jude Bellingham has been getting like 4 out of 6, 5 out of 6, 5 out of 6, 4 out of 6, 5 out of 6. You know, he's been a big part of Dortmund, genuinely. They're in the Champions League. He's playing with, you know, Jadon and Haaland. You know, okay, I'm trying to disagree with you, but I'm just like, what is he? 17 years old. There's no question that he will get 50 caps for England if he stays fit. Jude Bellingham. Right, I'll go with you then. I'm trying to think realistically what Gareth wants to do, and maybe I'm too thinking about set pieces and free kicks. Where, to be honest, he's kind of down the pecking order, isn't it? Yeah, with Kane, etc., etc. So, all right, I'll go. James Ward-Prowse doesn't make it, and Jude at 17-year-old makes it. 1 from the strikers.
2 for the strikers. You got to get rid of because we only got rid of 6. 5, sorry. Yeah. 1
goalie, 3 defenders, 1 midfield player, 2 strikers. Yeah. You're right.
Well, I'll give you the first one, right? Because obviously Harry Kane's going. Obviously Rashford's going. Sterling hasn't been on form for City, but he's going. DCL is going to be the backup striker, Calvert-Lewin, okay? Foden's obviously going. Grealish is going to go. Greenwood, I think, is going to go as well. So then you're down to Ollie Watkins, Bukayo Saka and Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho hasn't had the greatest season at Dortmund. He's still got some good numbers, but I think he will take him because of Sterling not being on form. So that, for me, leaves you 2 who've gone. I think he's going to get rid of Bukayo Saka, and I think Ollie Watkins isn't going to make the trip as well.
I think Bukayo Saka, to be honest, is in that 33 squad for the pat in the back for the season. He's had a difficult season for Arsenal. Well, you know, you've got to say he's been one of their certainly leading lights. He's only a young player. What is he? Still a teenager, I think. I don't think he's 20 yet. So yeah, I'm going with him. I'm going with him not to make it. I want Ollie Watkins in the squad. I really do. I can't. Do you know something? Are you not? I thought Danny Ings might have been in the squad.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah, but Al, how many strikers do you need? It's not a World Cup. We've not got games coming out our ears. He's already got Kane. He's going to start every game. So Kane will be the only striker that starts, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin will come on after 70 minutes, 80 minutes at times.
I'm just thinking I think he's a quality player. I don't think he'll be at Southampton next year. I think he'll be at a much bigger club. And I just think of the jack in the box and the goals that he gets for England, they might have been a little bit of a trump card. So Saka for me, no. And I was going to pick Jadon Sancho not to go and Watkins to go.
Okay.
But I think the fact of what you've said there about he's not a direct replacement for Sterling or in the wider areas where Mason Greenwood might start or Phil Foden might start, but I'm going to have to take my Villa boy out of it then. Okay. So we've actually agreed. And as much as I think it's a hard decision for Gareth in terms of, you know, the 26 he has to want, it's kind of, I think we've kind of planned it out really for him there, Will. Even if you sat down with Gareth right now, he'd be like, hard to disagree with what we've said. I mean, I know everybody, you know, on our group chat will probably have a go at us for saying, you can't not leave Watkins, he's got to take Reece James, etc., etc. Everybody will have their own ideas. But I think the 7 we've picked are going to be hard to disagree with. I'll go Ollie Watkins and Saka, and I think you might be right. He might take Sancho for sure. No Bamford. Had a good season. Could have been in the 33. And I'm disappointed that Ezra Konsa wasn't in. I know he's another Villa guy, but the young player is different class. Maybe Tyrone just has that superiority over in terms of defender. But there's another one that I think will play for England, Ezra Konsa. But there's our 7 then. Ramsdale, Godfrey, White, James, Ward-Prowse, Saka, and Ollie Watkins leaves us 26 for the England squad.
There you go. Gareth Southgate's best friend, the Scottish Grim Reaper, will be picking up the phone to those 7 to tell them they're not going.
Hey, it wouldn't matter who you've got in the squad. You're not beating us anyway.